I'm Paul Hurst. I teach mathematics here at BYU-Hawaii, and I've been here for just over 30 years. It began, I guess, when I first went to graduate school, and the department there recognized that I was incredibly skilled at teaching, so they assigned me a pre-calculus class. And I went to the class with just armed with just confidence, chalk, and eraser, and it turned out I didn't even need the eraser because everything that I was going to write was going to be perfect. And my explanations were crystal clear, my lectures were flawless, and there was no way, it was mathematically impossible for students to not understand what I was teaching. But then came the first exam, and against all odds, students somehow found a way not to learn mathematics. And so I thought, okay, this is just a glitch in the universe or something, so I made adjustments, but then students made adjustments, and then sort of turned into this kind of arms race where I would, get ahead, and then the students would get ahead, and then they were incredibly ingenious at staying ahead of me. And then I'd say about 30 years ago, I decided I'm gonna make this my life mission. Even if it takes me 30 years, I'm gonna perfect this teaching. And so I told my mom about this. My mom talked with Harriet Spinleff, who's Elaine's mother, who was a faculty member here at BYU-Hawaii. And we got to talking and decided that maybe this is the place, BYU-Hawaii was a perfect place for me to continue the journey. Okay, one of the lessons I've learned is that students are endlessly creative when it comes to not learning mathematics. Shortly after I got here, Elaine and Meryl and Susan Barton showed me the graphing calculator. And I looked at this thing and I thought, this is gonna be my ally. These buttons and this screen are gonna force the students to learn. But then somehow the students turned this ally of mine against me. It was unbelievable. They could press the buttons, they could press the correct buttons while simultaneously avoiding learning. It was so unbelievable. But it was very impressive. It was both impressive and deeply troubling. But one of the blessings, I guess, is that despite the confusion and the chaos, students actually do learn, whether it's slowly or whatever, but they do, and that's rewarding to see. Being part of the mathematics faculty at BYU-Hawaii has been essential to my survival. So Elaine showed us online programs like my math lab, and again, I thought, this is really great. The students are going to have to input the correct answers. They can no longer turn in papers with incorrect solutions on them. This is going to force them to do it correctly, and it's going to force them to learn. But once again, I was wrong. Students found a way to do it without learning. And being part of the mathematics faculty was great. We'd have meetings where it was kind of a therapy sessions. Our meetings were like therapy sessions, and we would talk about our frustrations and how we were victims of students not learning. And it was great. And it made me realize that teaching is a collaborative thing. It's kind of like, it takes the community to do it. It's not a solo experience. Okay, so my advice is simple. Keep on teaching even though it seems like the students aren't learning. I actually learned that students were learning. And the way that I learned it is years later, I get reports back about former students. And many of them became mathematicians, they became statisticians, data scientists, teachers, professors, even some of them. And then even they went into professions that were totally unexpected. And so it turns out that they were learning, and I figured out that they were just probably faking that they weren't learning, because apparently being good at mathematics is not socially popular. And so my message is that even though it doesn't look like students are learning, they are, sometimes silently or unexpectedly, or sometimes years or decades later. So just keep at it.